That's exactly it, right? Is the identification that there is unlimited potential, and that although there are parameters that we have here, I mean there is order, there is that divine order, there's also that ability to create out of that potential, and that potential is God, is the infinite. And so you are bringing that through you and manifesting things in this reality, and that ties. See, and I know that that sounds woo woo, and that sounds like like new age, but
Right.
it's not because is you're tying it in with Christianity, and you're identifying the immense potential that God brings forth. If you're identifying and adopting an era of nihilism, or kind of or atheism, where you're fully focused on the material, on the finite, and you're pigeonholing yourself in there, then okay, yes, that's completely disregarding and disagreeing with whatever it is, with our interpretation, with the beauty of life. But if you're identifying with that infinite potential, to me, that runs tandem with the conception of Christianity, on a religious level, as like you
Right.
said, uh, looking at something as an allegory, an interpretation of identifying with that infinite potential. Wouldn't it be the same thing? Because the allegory is just there to serve you with identifying with the underlying message and meaning held within the text.
Right, right. So it kind of goes back to the chapter we did on religious reading, and I think we titled it "The Letter Kills, but the Spirit Gives Life."
Right.
And it's like, well, the word manifesting, like that's connected to, in our minds, it's connected to the sort of new agey stuff. But the word manifesting just means bringing forth, creating, and God created us to be creators.
Right.
Um, so it's really in the meaning behind the word that is the issue, not the in the word. There's nothing wrong with the word manifesting. Um, the 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 difference in meaning is if you're new age, you think that you are the you think that you are God and that you have the authority and ability to manifest whatever you want whenever you want, even though that's clearly not true and you know, whatever. Um, that's sort of the underlying mindset is like I'm gonna manifest money and sex and you know,
A
whatever it
Lambo.
is.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Lamborghini.
Right, yeah. Um, and so manifesting in that sense is bad, but it's bad because the meaning that you're putting on it, where you think of yourself as like the awakened, uh, what would you say, player, not the opposite of an NPC who can input the cheat codes whenever they want and get whatever they want out of it. Like then all of the rest of reality is the infinite holodeck to fulfill your fantasies, and you are essentially the highest creator with the best knowledge of what should happen when. That's bad manifesting, and partially, not least because it's just simply not true and not how it works. Um, but you could also say, well, I'm manifesting in the sense that I have these hopes, desires, drives, and I'm trying to create out of them as God has directed me. And I'm trying to stay in line with His will and do His will as much as possible and let go of the things that are taking me away from that. And I am, in that sense, bringing forth what is invisible, what is just potential, what is just in my imagination, and creating it in the world. And that does happen, you know, that doesn't just happen mechanically. Like we don't just make things happen. For example, I've written a book. Great. I've done all the little boops of the keys in the board and went through the process of editing it, and I've put it out there in the world. But I didn't sell 1 million copies overnight just because I felt like it. There's a line in the Bible, man, what is it? Man plants and waters, but God giveth the increase. There's a point where your creation, sometimes at the end, sometimes it's intermixed and in between. But there are things that are input into your creation that are not just your physical, mechanical putting together of the things. So there's a spiritual aspect to it, and things do come together mysteriously and stack on top of each other. And so there is this element of magic, again, not bad word magic, but like miraculousness. There's this element of um, yeah, spiritual manifesting that is happening. Yeah, just don't do it demonically, but you're supposed to be doing God's will, and you're supposed to be being a creator, and some aspect of all, if not, or most, if not all creations are is mysterious and miraculous and manifesty.
Yeah, I think of like, your point of the book. So I mean, you essentially transmuted what were concepts and ideas and beliefs through the beep boops on the keyboard into words on the screen, and then through the printer to then bring forth this collection of those concepts and beliefs and ideas. So at one point, these were ethereal that
Mhm.
has then been manifested into a literal object, and I think of like a cook or somebody like a baker, right? It's like if you're going to bake cookies, if your end result is a cookie, you have to then take all of these unassociated ingredients, put them together, do some alchemy, some chemistry, raise some heats, move things around, increase
Mhm.
temperatures, decrease temperatures, and then eventually you get a cookie. But then that cookie wouldn't be there unless it went through the process of you